You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
Now, I understand that you've been helping with the education of young people. What has this involved?
Yes, that's right. It's involved quite a lot, really. I'm really passionate about education. I trained as a teacher in the early 1960s and am still in part-time employment. My husband calls me the Pied Piper of Hamelin because somehow I always seem to attract children. In the early years of the club, we hosted events for the Kent Adventure Disabled Club. Barry Ingram used to come with his committed team of helpers, and the children would have a wonderful time at the farm. An able-bodied fisherman would help a young disabled person, and the persons collecting the most fish at the end of day would win the prizes. They were so thrilled, it was a joy to see their faces. We would also have a barbecue. We've since supported other schools, and last year we had Parkwood School, and hopefully this year we shall be hosting events for the Helen Allison School and Meadowfields. Demelza House has also shown an interest in coming. This will be not only for the people who are at Demelza, but for the families who are awfully suffering when they see their children suffer. We have 5 disabled swims made of decking and built to the British Disabled Angling Association design. We've supported the 2nd Sheppey Scouts. Last year they camped out at the farm, and they never ever want to hear a frog again. Please could we silence the frogs, but I'm not sure how. Many obtained their fishing badges, and some of the committee, they attended the presentation of the trophies and the badges. This year they are to return, as well as scouts from the 5th Sheppey, who will be working towards their fishing badges. They will be considering 5 different modules, which are various, tackle and rigs, know your fish, casting, and health and safety. Students from Herdlow College have come twice to assist in the movement of fish, and this constitutes part of their NVQ training. Generally, we support all young members. The seniors give them advice on the use of tackle and bait, and sometimes the widows of deceased fishermen give their husbands tackle. This is valuable as some youngsters are unable to afford the better quality equipment. In all, it's a wonderful achievement for these youngsters, and it's great that they have the support of their parents and the committee members. I'm really delighted to see all this going on. Thank you.
What can you tell me about the diversity of the wildlife here?
Yes, right, we have a good variety of wildlife that visits the farm. First of all, we have 2 resident geese there that they can give us a bit of fun now and again. The water voles and rats that we see on the embankment all play a part in the circle of the life at the dikes. We often have a marsh harrier who we see. We have the hares. They are great to watch, and the turn of speed of up to 70 kilometres an hour is very impressive to watch. A hare can weigh up to 6 pounds, lives above the ground and only becomes sociable when breeding. The water voles, we have a very welcome rodents, as we don't see that many around now due to the mink that were introduced to the UK. We also have rabbits, foxes, birds, swans, and all your normal mallards, ducks, coots on the farm. We also have is known as an environmentally sensitive area. This is due to 3 or 4 rare plants that are found on the farm. One is called stinking goosefoot that Mr. Lewis introduced me to a few years ago. He said to me, held this plant up to me and said, smell it. I smelt it. He then rubbed it in his fingers and said, smell it again. I smelt it and gagged. It actually smells of rotting fish. It was terrible. but he did laugh, I must admit. We have the club rush, and also a plant called bird's foot trefoil, which is another rare plant. The migrant hawker was a rare dragonfly a few years ago, but habitat like we have at our dikes has brought these dragonflies back to life. We also see grass snakes, frogs, and many, many more birds. One of the problems we do have is that along the halfway road, we clean that up every year. Last year we had 29 bags of rubbish, mainly glass bottles, plastic bottles and tins. Plastic bags from local retailers. Unwittingly, cows can swallow these, and it has actually happened that cows have actually died through swallowing plastic bags. So please don't throw your rubbish over the fence. It would be appreciated.
So we're now going to talk to Cathie. Cathie, how have you managed to finance all the work that you've done?
I received commission for selling the Environment Agency licences, and the commission I gave to the club. But the major part of our funding in the earlier years was down to the generosity of members. At the commencement of the season, when they came to collect their membership cards, they were given donation to the club. These donations helped us to purchase fish and trophies for the competitions, which we held. While we were able to purchase some fish, the Environment Agency gave us fish, and we also exchanged fish. But generally, fishing was much more low-key then than it is now.
Neil, what have you been doing to raise funds?
Well, first of all, it was quickly realised that the £600 that we had in the account would not last long in purchasing scaffold boards and pegs to fit along the decaying banks. So I then contacted the Environment Agency, who gave us an officer to work with closely to make improvements to the dikes. This was Alice Wilson. She was absolutely fantastic for Holm Place Anglers. She'd done everything that we asked and gave us so much information. She was really, really good. We had loads of discussions with the Environment Agency. They funded part of the project with a donation. The money was spent on scaffold boards, pegs and disabled swims. I then moved on in July 2010. I met a gentleman called Ray Westron who worked for the Axis Group. We then put a plan in for fencing and the cost of trees. We had to purchase rabbit wire and posts to protect the trees that we was intending to plant. From that, we have managed to raise £1,850 for Cancer Research UK Sheppey branch over the past 2 years. This money has been raised by having a fun day for our members and families and friends. We have stocks with wet sponges thrown at us, bouncy castles, cake sales, darts, barbecues and much, much more. This year our fun day is on the 24th of June and we will be supporting Cancer Research UK again and Holm Place Anglers. On our 2011 fun day we also managed a profit of £350 for the club. I would like to take this opportunity to thank British Gas, Thermo Fisher Scientific, who support our fun day. Also prizes for a raffle supplied by Island Bait and Tackle, Premier Timber, The Aviator and Ferry House Inn. In February 2012, 3 members of the committee were invited to be guests at an evening by the Rotary Club Minster, who invited us to do a presentation to them. We completed the presentation, a vote was taken and it was unanimous to give us £200 from their community fund to the club. So thank you very much for that. We then organised a quiz night at the Sheppey Sports Club. This is run by Steve Manning, who has supported our club for years. So thanks very much, Steve. The quiz night was attended by 103 people and after food costs we made a fantastic £425 for the club. Tesco Sheernefs have supported us again in 2012 with a voucher. We also have a social evening in place for September 2012, a pig racing night on this evening. Steve Hellett, who raises funds for the club, sets up the meetings and establishes the contacts. Clare Hale, who organises a fun day, has bouncy castles this year, assault course, challenger, gladiators. We have a shooting range, ponies, stocks, football, darts, coconut shy, you name it, we've got it there. Sean Barnard is one of our committee members. He organises fishing competitions with other groups as well, outside of the club, to make money for the club. Richard Leeson, the treasurer, who looks after the money and all the memberships and also does a lot of work for the club. Gavin Russell, he's a secretary who keeps our website up to date on a weekly basis. Also, he does many repairs on our machinery to keep it all going. Myself and Cathie would like to thank all members and the committee for all their support through 2009 to today. Thank you very much.
If our listeners would like to find out more about your club, can they contact you?
Yes, they can, Daniel, yeah. If they give me a call on 01795 667 997, I will give them any information they require, and if they want to support the club in any way. Unfortunately, our memberships are full. We have our 100 members, so there is no room for new members this year.
Cathie and Neil, I'd like to thank you very much for coming along this evening and telling the listeners all about what you do at the club.
Thank you.